Hey, what's up you guys, the Dork's Knight here back with another video, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Marvel Legends series, Disney Plus, Build-A-Figure Hydra Stomper, Kingpin from Hawkeye. Taking a look at the packaging over here, it's pretty much the exact same thing that we've seen with all the other Marvel Legends figures that have this sort of plastic-free packaging. As you can see at the front over here, we get the digital render of Kingpin in his action figure form. I don't know how I feel about this. I really feel like if you're showcasing, the product, you want to have an actual picture of the product instead of, pictures that are from a digital render of the product. But anyway, you do have that. It does have a cool background of like a comic book sort of Kingpin, so that's pretty cool. Hawkeye at the bottom, Disney Plus at the top, Marvel Legends, Build-A-Figure Hydra Stomper. On the side over here, you have that same comic art of Kingpin going on with Marvel Legends series at the bottom. On the other side, you have the Build-A-Figure Hydra Stomper with all the other figures you need to collect in the wave. This is the only one I'm going to be collecting, so unfortunately I'm not going to be looking at this Build-A-Figure, but we do have Kingpin to look at today. At the back over here, you also do get the art of the figure. Again, a digital render, but it shows you all the accessories that comes with the figure. Marvel Legends at the top of there, Kingpin, couple warnings and the barcode at the bottom there, so if you're hunting for this figure, that's the barcode. At the bottom over here, you do have some other legalese, and then at the top you have the Hawkeye emblem. So that's about it with the packaging. Let's take a look at this figure. So here's Kingpin outside of the packaging over here, and I gotta say, it's a pretty, it's a good figure. Okay, there's a lot of faults to it, unfortunately, but at the end of the day, I'm actually really happy that we finally have a Kingpin figure. Back in the day when Daredevil originally came out on Netflix, I was able to pick up the Punisher in the Daredevil from the Marvel Legends series, and I was really hoping that Hasbro would come out with a Wilson Fisk Kingpin played by Vincent D'Onofrio, because he was just amazing in that series. He was such a great villain, and in Hawkeye he was great as well, but I feel like because it was in the MCU, there was a little bit of fault to it, but I'm sure now with the new Daredevil series coming out, we're going to see the Kingpin that we all know and love. But the figure here comes with a few accessories. As you can see, he has open hands already on him, but he also comes with these fisted hands over here. So yeah, they're not looking too bad. I'm glad he comes with an extra pair of hands, especially with how much these Marvel Legends are costing nowadays. But he also comes with this staff over here. This is like the iconic Kingpin staff. He's got the little diamond at the top over there, and then it's a nice, staff. You got some nice gold paint going on there, solid black color, and yeah, it just goes really well with the figure. And as I said, the figure has this sort of open hands over here, which are great, and you can just slide the staff inside of the hand like so, and he can use that as a weapon. So really good accessory there. The hands over here are made out of soft plastic, so if you wanted him to hold on to anything else, you could definitely do that. All right, so looking at Kingpin over here, I think they did a really good job with the likeness. I think it does look like Vincent D'Onofrio. I just think that the rest of the body could have been a little bit bigger, in my opinion. But as you can see, it doesn't look too big on this neck, because I do believe that this body was a bit of reuse. I think it was made from the Happy Hogan body. I could be wrong about that, but correct me in the comments down below. Is looking like reuse from that figure over here. I don't mind that. I think, this body build fits Kingpin. Just again, I think it should have been bigger. But the head sculpt over here, as I said, looks great. Yeah, definitely looks like Vincent D'Onofrio there. He's got that big bald head that we know that Kingpin has. And yeah, the only thing I would want to change about this figure is how it sits on the neck over here. It does look like he has a very small neck, which I guess Vincent D'Onofrio kind of did have in the show, but if you want to pull the head up a little bit, you can do that, so that works a little bit better there. But then at the back over here, there's a little bit of a cut. Do with that as you must. Overall, pretty good head sculpt. Really happy with it. But in terms of the rest of the figure over here, they could have gone with the look that he had with the Hawaiian suit in the Hawkeye series, but instead they went with his more iconic sort of like purple pants, white jacket. So I really enjoy that selection of the figure, because it allows for a lot of playability, especially with other comic characters. And the fact that this suit, I feel like, is the most iconic for Kingpin. But as I said, he's got the white jacket, and this looks pretty good over here. It's a bit of a softer plastic that's on top of where the black undershirt is, and that black undershirt is open over there as well too, so that looks great. Then over here, you can see some of the reuse with the peg holes over here. That is quite unfortunate for me. I would have liked to see a Kingpin figure, especially with the knee joints over here, because you can see these don't have the peg holes. At least to have those peg holes, because it really does break up the sculpt, especially that this jacket here is all just one solid smooth color. There's very little detail other than wrinkles going on. So aesthetically, it kind of brings it down for me a little bit. So I really do wish that they went with a bit of a newer, sort of arms over here, and that way it doesn't break up the sculpt. But, what are you going to do? And as I said, the hands over here look pretty good. They're just plain, pale skin hands. This hand over here, I should mention, unlike the two-fisted hands, they have one hinge that goes up and down. This one on his left hand goes side to side, so that works really well when he's holding his staff. And then this one over here just hinges up and down. But otherwise, he does have his purple pants over here, and these look pretty decent as well, too. They do look a little bit saggy, to be honest, though. I don't know if it's just the way that it's sculpted or not, but to bring it back out here a little bit, yeah, you can see, like, I don't know, it just looks like he's really short. So another thing with, making the height on the figure, it's kind of disappointing with that, because look at how big the jacket is in comparison to his legs over here. It's just, it's a little bit top heavy there. But I guess that's what Kingpin is kind of like. I just was hoping that we could get a little bit better proportions in here and you can look a little bit bigger. But otherwise, with the feet over here, he just have like a plain black dress shoe, as you can see, and those aren't looking too bad. And then I'm back over here. And then, of course, he's got the two peg holes, which don't look bad either. Now, as for articulation, Kingpin does have a lot of movement, which is great, especially if you're putting him up against Spider-Man or Daredevil. He really should have that sort of movement. Not realistic to the films, but more so the comics, which is great. His head does move up about that much. It can move down. It can move side to side. It has a pivot in there. It's on a ball joint, so it's pretty good articulation there. You do have the arm joint over here, which allows him to move up about that much. You can go up, down. There's a bicep swivel. Double jointed elbows, which again, unfortunately shows those sort of peg holes. But he does have some wrist articulation, as I showcased earlier. It's a swivel and then hinge. And then abs, for the abs over here, it is hidden by the jacket, which is made out of a softer plastic. But you can give him a little bit of a movement. He doesn't have an ab crunch, but there's like a ball joint in the waist over here. So if you want to move him back, you can get that movement, and it's just a little bit hindered. But he can kick forward over here about that much. He can kick back onto an angle. He can do the splits over here, as you can see. There's also a thigh swivel just underneath where this jacket is over here. Double jointed knee, which moves in pretty far there. So if you want to have Kingpin going on a run, you can do that. I will say, though, it does look a little bit ugly that it breaks up, this sculpt in the legs over here. So maybe they could have done a little bit of reworking on that. Then, of course, he has the ankle articulation, which is down, up, and a bit of pivot. Here's Kingpin compared to Daredevil and Punisher from the season 2 of Daredevil. And man, it feels so good to see these three all together. I will mention, though, as you can blatantly see, Kingpin is a little bit short. And I know, it's kind of difficult to compare this with, these figures, because these figures are a little bit older now. But yeah, I definitely think they should have made Kingpin a little bit taller. He is suffering from reused parts 100%. And those legs, now that I'm looking at it more, it's throwing me off. They look too straight. They look too long as well too. There should have been more of a balance between the scale of his upper chest and lower chest. That jacket just looks like it's too big for him. I don't know what it is. You guys can let me know if you see the same thing in the comments down below. But nonetheless, I do think he should have been taller. If you're curious as to how he stands with other Marvel Legends figures, I have a ruler over here, and you can see he does stand at about 6 and just under ½ inches tall. But you know what, needless to say, it's been years in the making, and I'm very happy that I now have a Kingpin to put next to these two. I always thought that Daredevil Season 2 could have made a great film if actually put together. The dynamic between, Kingpin being the mob boss and Daredevil being, the hero that's trying to make a difference, and then Punisher, who's the hero that turns bad, and now Daredevil's kind of caught in the crossfire. I really think if they did make a film with these three, it would probably be on the level of The Dark Knight. Pretty hot take there, but I don't know. I love these three characters so much, and I'm just so happy to see them now all in their live action form. Now, final thoughts on Kingpin over here. I want to say this is a good figure, but at the same time, I really think it's my love for the character and how, how Vincent D'Onofrio portrayed the character in the Daredevil series. I didn't really pay attention to the Hawkeye series as much, so I don't know 100% as to how Kingpin was treated in that show, but from the scenes that I've seen, it looks like that he was sort of just a punching bag in the show. So, you know, if more newer fans who are getting into Marvel Legends collecting, they may not see a reason why, you know, this figure was produced. But for us who watched the Daredevil Netflix series and loved Vincent D'Onofrio's version of the character, like this is absolutely great. I absolutely love this. But again, like if you're not a big fan of Kingpin, I really don't see the purpose in getting this. There's a lot of reused parts on this figure over here, as I've already said. Those peg holes being one thing that's like, it throws the figure off so much to me. And the fact that, you know, it's another suited character, I don't know if it's as interesting, you know, to anyone who's collecting these figures. It's not a very cool looking character, just plain suited with, you know, the head. I do find that it's a plus that they went ahead with the comic accurate sort of look. He's got the purple pants, the white jacket, and the black undershirt. So that's a big plus, but at the end of the day, again, I don't know if this is for you. I really don't think that they're going to end up making another Kingpin in the near future. They might for the new Daredevil series, because I hear that he's going to be a big part of that series once again. But like I wouldn't I wouldn't count on it. So if you're a huge fan of Vincent D'Onofrio and his portrayal as the Kingpin, or if you're just a big fan of Kingpin in itself, like this is a great figure to get, and I would 100% recommend it. But if you're just looking to fill out your Marvel Legends collection here, you can totally pass on this. Another thing about this figure too is that it does not come with a Build-A-Figure piece. So really, like what you're paying for your money is just the two-hand accessories and the staff. So really just up to your preference, but for me, I love this figure. And yeah, that's about it. Another thing is that I've also seen this figure on shelves a lot now too, so I feel like it's going to be one of those shelf warmers. So if you're not sure about getting it right now because of the price, and you know things are expensive at the moment, you can probably wait. I have a strange feeling that this figure will probably go down in price, and it'll be easier to pick up as time goes on. With that said, you guys, thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know what you think about this figure. Let me know what you thought about my review. Leave a like if you liked the video, dislike it if you disliked it. And as every YouTuber begs you to do, please subscribe. And hopefully I'll see you in the next video. Take care.